Hi, in this video I will be talking about the end and but of the complete course of Cucumber Gherkin for Java. Coming up. Hey, thanks for being here. I'm Nilton Santos and I am an Oracle certified Java developer with over 20 years of experience, and I am the founder of craftofprogramming.com. The craftofprogramming.com is an educational website focused on teaching general computer science topics, programming languages, and software tools. If this is the first time that you are here, then please subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell so that you are informed every time I publish regular content. Also, leave a comment below and share this video with friends. Let's get started with today's lesson. Okay, so in the previous introductory lesson about the complete Cucumber Gherkin course in Java, I introduced the concepts of feature file, which is created inside the source test resources file. I've introduced the concept of scenario as the sort of the basic, test within the feature file. I've introduced the three main keywords given, when, then of the BDD, behavior-driven design, approach or technique, and I've introduced the concept of background. So this is lesson 2, a follow-up of the introductory, for Cucumber. So if you have not seen the introduction to Cucumber, a lesson, then please refer to that before continuing here. So one of the things I mentioned that it was needed was the plugin for Cucumber. So let me tell you which plugin I'm talking about. The plugin that I'm referring to is this plugin. So I mentioned that in Intellij there is this Cucumber for Java plugin that you need to install. But let me illustrate in a more clear way perhaps why this plugin is required for developing or writing Cucumber feature files. So there are a few reasons. The main reason is basically code completion. So just like in Java, obviously Intellij provides code completion. If you have this plugin, you are enhancing the capability of Intellij to give you code completion for Cucumber. For example, as soon as I start typing an S, it already matched the scenario outline and scenario template. Okay, so I can just quickly complete. And then, because the scenario outline contains an example section or table, then it also gives me that. So it's fully aware of the keywords that Cucumber supports, this plugin. That's number one. Number two is it's aware of your step definitions. For example, if I start typing, a step, a Cucumber step, it's already giving me all the options based that are available on my step definition. So I have these 4 step definitions defined on my basic step definitions class. Okay, and as you can see, the plugin is giving me those options. The third benefit of using this plugin is navigation. So I can jump from the Cucumber step to the corresponding Java step definition, okay, as you can see. So anyway, that's something that I would like to clarify on why you need that Cucumber for Java plugin. So let's start talking about the topic of the lesson, which is to cover the additional keywords of end and but. So if you recall, on the example that I used for our introduction, we have here a very basic feature file that has 2 scenarios, and those scenarios are very simple. I'm just basically initializing the library service, and remember the library service is this service here, which is the main service that we are writing Cucumber tests against. And this library service it's backed by DAO, a data access object that loads books off of this CSV, whereby each line here represents a book. So again, for details, refer to the introductory lesson. What we are saying here is that on the first step on the background, we're saying given that my library is initialized, and initialized means that it had preloaded all these books from my book CSV into memory, and then if after that, my library is initialized, I'm doing some basic queries. I search a book by title, and then I assert that indeed I find this book, because if you look at my CSV here, I do have the effective Java. And if I search for the most popular topic, then the most popular topic in my library is computing. As you can see, most computing is the largest number of books here are of topic computing. Okay, so let's say that in addition to that, let's motivate the need for the and but keywords. Let's say that in addition to asserting that my library is initialized, I want to also assert that the number of books that were preloaded are 10. As you can see here, I have 10 books in my library. So let's say then I would write given that my library is initialized, given that the total number of books is 10. Right? So that's what I want to implement. So notice that this is not reading well. And again, remember, Cucumber Gherkin is all about raising the abstraction level of your tests from the technical levels of JUnit onto English. So the Cucumber features and Cucumber scenarios need to read as fluent as English text. And clearly, given that my library is initialized, given the total number of books is 10, does not read well. Okay? What you obviously want to say here is end, right? So that's one reason or one motivation for using the end keyword, is to make your feature files, your scenarios more fluid, read like English. Given that my library is initialized and that the total number of books is 10, when I search for the book with title effective Java, I find that given that my library is initialized and that the total number of books is 10, when I search for the most popular topic, then I find the topic computing. Okay, so let's obviously implement this step. Let's implement in the existing basic step definitions file. And so this is another benefit of using the Cucumber for Java plugin for Intellij is, as you can see here, it basically composes or completes the Cucumber expression already with the appropriate Cucumber expression parameter. So obviously this is the total number of books, and the only thing we need to do is we just need to assert that the service total number of books count, okay, is equal to total number of books. So let's execute this test and just assert that this works. And as you can see, my tests continue to pass, so both scenarios passed, and my 8 steps, okay, everything is still good. All right, so that's one example for the AND keyword. Let's talk about the BUT keyword. And just to be clear, the AND keyword and any keyword for that matter, given, when, then, but, they can be used anywhere in the background section or in the scenario section, and multiple times, right? I could have written another AND here, okay? So you're not limited to using just one keyword per section, if you will. So let's talk about the but keyword. So let's say that in addition to asserting that the most popular topic in my library is computing, I want to further assert that this is the only topic that I encounter. So for example, what I'll do here is, when I search for the most popular topic, then I find the topic computing, then I don't find the topic. Remember that the topic in my library is computing sci-fi, finance, and novel. For example, I don't find the topic, finance. Or I can say, I don't find the topic, for example, a novel. Okay, I don't find the topic sci-fi. Obviously, again, as you can see here, this does not read well, right? So, I want to say here, I find the topic computing, but I don't find it the topic finance, for example, right? And here you could say, but I don't find the topic sci-fi, or you could even say, and I don't find, okay? So this is like a perfect, scenario where, you would use the but and the and keywords together. So now that we have our, new Cucumber steps here, let's implement them. And let's implement them in the same, in existing basic step definitions Java class, okay? So as you recall, we have been capturing enums by utilizing this Cucumber expression that captures, anything. And our, we're passing the topic here. So we're using this capture to convert, this string onto an enum, our topic enum. Okay. So one thing to watch out here, which is very important, I think I will just execute this to illustrate the problem. You need to watch out for this because it's an important point that I would like to highlight. First, let's complete these methods so that they are very equivalent. We want to assert that the most of the topic is not that topic that we're passing, and this method is also the same. Okay, so let's see what is the problem here. Notice something. You see this? So the problem is that we have two step definition implementations which are basically the same. So Cucumber is confused. It does not know which step definition to use for each Cucumber step. So this is one important gotcha, which is that these keywords but and and don't really matter to map a step definition onto a Cucumber step. This is very important. So we don't need this, okay, because you can see that the expression is exactly the same, okay, and the expression is what needs to be unique within the class path of all the step definitions for a particular Cucumber file. So we don't need this, okay, and notice that now there is an unambiguous mapping between this step and its definition for both cases, right? Obviously, to make this clear, we will just remove the finance topic there, okay? And now we are asserting that this topic, it's not the most popular topic, okay? So this is a very important point here. The keyword but or and or when or then are not used to map steps into step definitions. What is used to map steps with step definitions, as I mentioned in the previous lesson, is the Cucumber expression, is what's inside the parentheses, okay? So let's rerun this feature and make sure that it still passes. As you can see, it passes. So this was a simple lesson that introduced the topics of and but. I hope you found it useful. Ciao, ciao.